Welcome to Rio Reacts, the place to catch all of my unfiltered raw reactions to those stories that get your WhatsApp groups buzzing. Now, one that's buzzing around right now is Man United agreeing a deal. Yes, Man United, we've agreed with PSG to sign Ugarte, the central midfielder, the defensive midfielder, the first choice defensive midfielder they've had in the whole of this window. They finally got their man. It's taken a bit longer than we expected, I know. But they finally got him. 42 million plus 8 million add-ons, so it's about 50 million pounds roughly, they're saying. But the deal has been agreed. Man United sign Ugarte from PSG. Mwah. I'm delighted, man. And it looks like it's going to be a replacement for Scott McTominay, who on the show with Peter Kenyon and Joel earlier this week, I said, listen, I don't think it's the right thing to get rid of someone like Scott McTominay, who is an academy graduate, who loves the club, obviously, who can give us, I think, some really good performances as a squad player. But sometimes I think you've got to take into consideration what maybe the player wants, and maybe Scott wants a new challenge. Maybe he had been told that he isn't going to be part of the plans as a real first-team player in terms of starting as many games as he would like, and that just wasn't him. And so maybe for that reason that he said, yeah, okay, I'll entertain leaving. But I think, as I said, he's been a great servant for the club in the time he's been there. He's done some good stuff. And now he's going to go on, hopefully have a good career somewhere else. Wasn't during a successful spell, but I don't think that's down to one player or Scott McTominay himself. But good luck to him. But I think you've got to look at, as I said, what's going on at the football club. I think the business that's been done at the moment with the club, it's been very sensible. I think I've used that word a lot in this window, sensible, and I think it's been good in that. I think you look at the replacement for Scott McTominay is a 23-year-old. Scott's 27, so that's great. He was our primary defensive midfielder target from the beginning of this window, and so I said we're going to have him here for a long time now. And if you contrast that to previous windows, we're spending a far more money on players and over the odds, spending too much on players, giving them too much in terms of wages. And you think, wow, over the last 10, 12 years, you've looked at the windows and you've gone, well, Man United have got done there. They've got bumped on that one. They've overpaid for him. You look at the players we've brought in here. Joshua Zirkzee, £35 million. In the current market as well, and you understand there's big prices going around. Euro, young kid, huge potential, £50 million, but it's a lot less than that. That's only if we go and win everything, and he does and produces crazy performances over a long period of time, but it's a lot less than that. Mazzari, 12 million. De Ligt, 40 million. Experienced, Champions League, knows what his way around those big clubs. Bruno Fernandes extends his deal till 2028, and now Manuel Ugarte comes in. So I think it's been a really sensible, good window, and we've got some really good players for the money that we've spent. So that's 5 signings in the summer, and the overall spending, I think, in excess of about 190 million. So, listen, I think that's a decent window. Obviously, the proof will be in the pudding, but we'll have to wait and see. And I think we have to look at what we're buying as well. I've not seen loads of him, but obviously I know he's a ball-winning defensive midfielder type. I've looked at a few of his stats as well. I mean, he's high volume stats, by the way, on tackles and interceptions and duels. And he's Uruguayan. They've got that tough, solid, rugged mentality, that little bit of edge. I think that he'll bring to this team. I think it'll be really, really good. He's not a Kante type quick, but he's dynamic when pressing the ball in different areas of the pitch. He's not someone who's going to be getting the ball like a Busquets, I think, or a Rodri and dictating the play with intricate passing and passing through the lines and stuff like that. I think he's a simple passer off both feet, keeps it simple, keeps it ticking, always available, always showing. But I think his passing isn't going to be, don't expect him to be hitting 30, 40-yard passes and things like that, or breaking the lines. I think he's an economical kind of footballer. But he's an old school proper number 6. Defensive, sit there, shore things up. A type of number 6 that's sitting in front of me as a centre back, you'll be happy to have in front of you because he's going to protect. So fingers crossed, as I said. that type of player, that profile, that's what to expect from someone like him. And, mate, I'll be honest with you, I'm looking forward to seeing him play. That discipline, that little bit of nous and ruggedness, I think I'm really, really looking forward to seeing how that blends with what we've got with the likes of Kobbie Mainoo, Bruno, Mason, Casemiro. And it'd be interesting to see who goes and plays in there. Will he go straight in? You got Casemiro with the experience. He's going to be there to give that and pass on to the other players. And I'm sure Ugarte would be loving to see that as well. But it's going to be really interesting to see how the squad shapes up now. I think obviously up front at the moment, we're still, obviously with Højlund being injured, we look a bit short in that area. But once he's back, as I said, I think that these additions, these 5 signings, I think it's been a very sensible bit of business that we've done over this window. It's nothing where you're going earth-shattering, wow, oh my God, this is like rockets have been blown off. Sensible, what we need, and to get us to the next level. We're not signing players here that are going to win us the league or Champions League right now. We're signing players to get us through this next stage and get us to the next stage, which is Champions League qualification. A bit more a stable looking team. So yeah, man. And what about what's going on? What I'm hearing in the news? I'm hearing things like Raheem Sterling. We could be back on Rio Reacts anytime now with Raheem Sterling. We're hearing. Now, what do you think about that? I want you to get in the comments. What do you guys think about that? Because ex-Man City, ex-Liverpool. Has there been a Man City and an ex-Liverpool player play for United? That's a good question. I can't think of one off the top of my head. Played for Liverpool and City and United. So, and then Chelsea. He's played some big clubs, by the way. Some little resume that. But yeah, things haven't worked out for Raheem Sterling at Chelsea. And if Sancho goes the other way, I think it works for both. I think they need a new chapter written in their careers, and I think it work for both players. I think Man United, I think Sterling will be a good addition if he did come from a player as a player, his profile. What that does for someone like maybe Anthony, I don't know, he probably goes to 5th choice if someone like Sterling comes. But it definitely ups the competition. Ahmad's been playing recently. I think he'll be sitting there looking over his shoulder thinking, please don't come. But competition's good. It's always healthy. And at a club like Man United, competition is vital to keep pushing the team on. So Raheem Sterling brings experience. He knows how to get goals. He knows how to play the game. And he's someone who has something to prove, which I think is vitally important with players when you're bringing them in. You want players that have got to prove something, got a little bit of a chip on their shoulder about something, and I think Raheem sits in that situation right now. Same with Sancho. Sancho will be sitting there thinking, oh, I've travelled all the way down to Brighton. I'm not even on the bench, let alone starting. Right? I need to do something different and reboot his career. Had a good spell at Dortmund, done well in the Champions League games that I saw. But I think if Sancho's not getting game time at Manchester United, he needs to find game time. Because you can't have another season where you're on the peripheral of a squad, not even the team, but the peripheral of the whole squad, not even getting games and minutes at the age that he's at the moment. He needs to play. So yeah, man, let's watch this space. 5 signings have come in. Will there be 6 or 7 maybe by the end of the window? Not long to go now. So listen, keep your comments coming in, guys. Make sure you keep your eyes open for Rio Reacts when another signing comes in. Also, guys, do not forget, stay tuned for the next Rio Reacts, or the one next week that's coming. Could be one before that if there's a new signing. But next week, we've got a Rio Reacts with a very special guest who you might like to see, who you thought you might not see again. But you're here, live and direct on Rio Reacts. Thanks, guys, for listening to this episode of Rio Reacts. Hope you've enjoyed this show. And if you have, make sure you leave us a review and follow this Rio Ferdinand Presents feed to make sure you never, ever miss an episode. If you've got a point you think we should be discussing or want to put us on the spot with a question you want answering, get in touch using the fansfirst at rioferdinandpresents.com email address or use #RFP on social. See ya on the next one.